Good morning. It is Wednesday, February 19th. Here's what we're working on this morning. A stolen vehicle smuggling operation has been busted in Niagara.
More delays are expected at Toronto's Pearson Airport after Monday's crash landing.
And Paul Simon is abandoning his retirement plans. Pretty cold morning this morning. Welcome to Louie and Brian.
Morning.
Yeah. How are you bundled up this morning?
Mismatched gloves, as always.
At least you have gloves. That's
no
good.
toque today, because you said something nice about my hair. You're like, what's different? I didn't have to put a toque on it this morning.
Okay.
So I'm bundled. I'm bundled.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I was bundled in the big coat.
Yeah, the big coat felt good this morning, I know, because it's not as cold as yesterday morning. Yesterday morning we were minus 17. Right now we're minus 12. So
Wow.
Yeah,
Let's go for a swim.
Celebrate. Yeah,
Balmy minus 12.
There's
Yeah.
an idea. Minus 12, wind chill though minus 19. So yeah, it's still bitterly cold. We do have a mainly cloudy sky to start the day, and we are going to see mainly cloudy skies throughout the day, and some flurries as well. But we should climb to minus 7, which is a bit better than what we got to yesterday. But still, we're going to have a wind chill today about minus 16. So yeah, another cold day. Cold again tomorrow. Then we've got some plus side temperatures in our long range forecast. Yay, something to look forward to. A little bit of warmth. We'll talk about that coming up. All right, checking traffic. 403 Waterdown Road. We start with that camera because that's our camera. We put that up, so it looks good there. Nothing to see. Let's go to some MTO traffic cameras. Red Hill Creek camera. Toronto bound lanes away from us toward the Skyway Bridge. There's the top of the Skyway, still moving nicely. Nothing here at Bronte. Everything looks good so far this morning. So weather and traffic, of course, we check that for you constantly. We will do that coming up. Right now, the news.
Okay. Now to trafficking of vehicles. Hamilton police searched 9 locations across the region as part of a stolen vehicle smuggling investigation. Police say there were searches in Hamilton, Niagara, Halton, and Haldimand County. The searches focused on an alleged vehicle exporting facility located on Kaler Road in Niagara Falls. Over 150 officers across the area were involved in the investigation. Hamilton police say officers have been pulling stolen vehicles from storage containers yesterday and today. Police will be holding a media conference later this morning to talk about the project and the arrests.
More delays at Toronto's Pearson Airport are likely today as investigators try to determine what caused Monday's crash landing of a Delta Airlines plane with 80 people on board. As of Tuesday, all but 2 of the 21 people injured on the flight have been released from hospitals.
Other duties we'll be conducting here on site are examining the wreckage, examining the runway. We've already removed the cockpit voice recorder, the flight data recorder, and we've sent them to our lab for further analysis. At this point, it's far too early to say what the cause of this accident might be.
Airport authorities have said the wreckage of the aircraft is expected to remain on the runway for about 48 hours until the investigators finish their work. Flight delays are expected over the coming days, and travelers are advised to check the status of their flight before heading to the airport.
A 75-year-old woman in Brantford has been missing since Monday. Brantford police say Patricia was last seen leaving Brantford General Hospital around 9:30 that morning. They have not given her last name. She is white with a medium build and shoulder-length brown and gray hair. She wears glasses and was last seen wearing a bright pink winter coat with black trim.
The City of Hamilton says it has cleared a backlog of nearly 500 affordable housing units. City Housing Hamilton, which just opened a new apartment building on Bay Street North, has reduced its annual vacancy rate to an all-time low of 2.2% over the last 18 months. That's down from the more than 9% of units that were empty in early 2023 because they needed repairs. The city says a new reserve fund will help offset unplanned cost pressures in the future. A 2% vacancy rate brings City Housing Hamilton in line with the average affordable housing vacancy rate in Ontario.
Now, in an apartment building in Hamilton's East End, a group of tenants has been without power for almost 2 weeks in this bitter cold. Up to 12 people are living in this building on Kenilworth Avenue North, where temperatures inside are hovering just above freezing. One of the tenants, John Phillips, says the cold is unbearable and they're struggling to stay warm.
It's been like a nightmare in that because we can't cook. We can't see each other barely at night and that, trying to keep warm, and that it's the living nightmare.
Now, the power was cut off after an inspection found safety violations. Hamilton's fire chief says there were multiple fire code violations and electrical safety issues in the house before the power was cut off, and a security guard was assigned by the city of Hamilton to watch the building for fire because 2 people refused to leave. The fire chief says the city is offering shelter spaces to the tenants and encouraging them to get out of the home for their own safety. Well, Hamilton is still cleaning up after the huge dumping of snow over the weekend, and as crews are still trying to clear the roads, it's impacting waste collection. The city has taken to social media to say that waste collection vehicles and staff are unable to collect all of the waste because of the amount of snow, so they're asking people to bring their garbage and recycling in and place it back out next week on your regular collection day. Well, Ontario's political leaders are making a few public appearances today as they prepare for the snap election on February 27th. Liberal leader Bonnie Crombie is set to make an announcement just east of Ottawa before making stops in Kanata, Carleton and Nepean. Green leader Mike Schreiner is joining an all-candidates debate in Guelph this morning and then making an announcement in Georgetown. PC leader Doug Ford's campaign didn't release a public schedule for today after canceling an event because of travel issues in Sault Ste. Marie. That's because of flight delays out of Pearson International Airport. NDP leader Marit Stiles has no public events scheduled today. Be watching on election night, February 27th, excuse me, because we will have special provincial election coverage starting at 9 o'clock that night. Your Home, Your Vote, a CHCH special, will have all the results, live reports from across the region, and a team of experts offering unique perspectives. Connect with CHCH for all of your election coverage.
Looking forward to being a part of that as well. All right, time for a look at sports. Let's start with some baseball, where the Blue Jays held their first full team workout yesterday at spring training. But the big news was the team failing to come to an agreement with slugger Vlad Guerrero Jr.
No, we did not get an agreement today. I mean, they had their numbers, I have my numbers, but you know, it's just business, like I always say. Things happen, but we all good. Winning team. That's what I'm looking. I'm going to be looking on a free agency. As you guys know, my dad plays a lot of years, and he never won the World Series. And I always say, my personal goal is to win a World Series and give the ring to my dad. So that's all I'm looking for.
A 4-time All-Star Guerrero says the Blue Jays must now compete with 29 other teams in a deal that's expected to reach over $400 million. A 25-year-old who made his Major League debut with the Jays in 2019 hit .323 with 30 home runs and 103 runs batted in last season. Here is the Blue Jays front office brain trust GM Ross Atkins and President Mark Shapiro on the failed negotiations.
Obviously very disappointed. We worked very hard. The motivation is still there. Confident that every thought, idea we had, every dollar that we had was communicated. So, but we're obviously disappointed to not have gotten that done. Doesn't change our desire. We will certainly be motivated and remain motivated.
What's most important to us is being able to build a championship team. Certainly easier with Vlad Guerrero in the fold, but we still have to stay disciplined, to a number and to our process. And in this case, I think we were emotional. We did value the player deeply, and even went past, our value because we cared so deeply about him and wanted to have him here.
All right, switching gears to hockey, where we are still one day away from the Four Nations Face-Off Championship game tomorrow in Boston. The Boston Bruins announcing yesterday that Team USA defenseman Charlie McAvoy will miss the final after suffering an infection related to an upper body injury. Here is U.S. head coach Mike Sullivan on losing McAvoy.
I know from a personal standpoint what this tournament meant to him and how much he was looking forward to playing in this. So having said that, we have capable people. We have a lot of depth at all the positions. It's going to provide opportunities for others to step up.
Meanwhile, Vancouver star Quinn Hughes may be shipping up to Boston to potentially take McAvoy's place in the lineup for Thursday night's final. The Canucks captain, who skated with his team in Vancouver yesterday, was originally one of the first 6 players named to Team USA, but pulled out before the tournament due to an undisclosed injury. Now, according to tournament rules, Hughes, who won the Norris as the league's top defenseman last year, can't play unless another D-man is declared injured by the team.
It's a beauty! It's a wonderful save! But it's gone in! Carter Vickers was trying to clear, and all he could do was touch the ball onto Alphonso Davies. Celtic hearts are broken.
And Canadian soccer star Alphonso Davies scored in the 94th minute as Bayern Munich moved on to the Champions League round of 16 following a 1-1 draw with Celtic. Davies bundled a rebound over the goal line, saving Bayern the ordeal of extra time. Davies' goal gave Bayern a 3-2 win over the 2 legs.
Okay, 6:11. It's Wednesday, halfway through the week here. It's another cold start to our 19th morning of February. Looking at traffic, first of all, I have nothing to show you on the 403. Moving nicely through Burlington, through Hamilton, back into Ancaster, all doing okay. To some MTO traffic cameras. Here's the QEW south of 2. Now, they're adjusting the camera here. Because they're looking, we do have some construction. It's on the Fort Erie bound ramp to North Shore Boulevard. We've got some emergency road work going on right there, and they're trying to get it into the camera here, but it's up kind of around the bend where the real closure is. So that's one thing this morning. Nothing at 7th in St. Catharines. Red Hill Creek looks good. The Ford plant's moving nicely and easily, and same with Cooksville Creek. So just some construction going on at that ramp to North Shore Boulevard from the 40 rebound QEW. Okay, get to our temperature right now. Temperature hasn't changed, but the winds have changed a little bit, and that makes it feel a little bit colder. So minus 12 is our temperature. The wind southwest now at 18, make it feel like minus 20. Bitterly cold start to the day. It's a mainly cloudy sky to get into the morning here. So for school today, heading off, be mainly cloudy for the day. We should hit a high of minus 7, which is a couple of degrees better than yesterday. We'll take what we can get this time of year, but we are going to get some more flurries in the forecast. Ridge of high pressure to the southeast, and another one building in from the west. So a little bit of sunshine, but we're also going to get some flurries. Flurries coming in off the lakes, and we could get, well, Niagara could get a couple of centimeters tonight, and Hamilton could get a couple of centimeters during the day tomorrow. Yeah, I know, more stuff. So minus 5 to minus 7 for Niagara today, minus 7 and 8 degrees around the rest of the horseshoe. A little bit of sun this morning, but then some clouds with some flurries later on. Tonight, as I said, Niagara could get a couple of centimeters, minus 12 there. Otherwise, minus 14 and 15. Colder tonight. But again, that flurry activity. Tomorrow, the remainder of the horseshoe could get another couple of centimeters, minus 6 and minus 7 for the day tomorrow. So temperatures stay below seasonal for tomorrow. But there is some good news coming up. So out the door on the 19th morning of February, it is mainly cloudy. It is cold, minus 12, wind chill right now, minus 20. And the long range forecast, which does have some good news, we'll have that coming up. Annette, Louie.
Okay, we're going to look forward to that, Brian. Thank you very much.
Interest, at least, yeah.
We're also looking forward to chatting with Emily Vukovic with a preview of what's to come in Chit Chat. And in business news, businesses and investors are getting ready for another round of tariffs. The details in just a couple of minutes.
For 70 years, CHCH has covered the biggest news stories in the region. Join us on February 20th for a look back through the decades. Hear untold stories from behind the scenes.
One with razor wire on top of it. And between the fences, there were dudes with machine guns and vicious dogs.
Exactly. Featuring some familiar faces.
Yes, I heard they got 2,000 phone calls.
I need a mic. I gave you a mic. I need another mic.
Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Watch part 2, February 20th at 8 p.m.
And a very good morning to Emily Vukovic. We saw you last night on the 6th.
Yeah.
You know, I napped on the couch. It's fine. I'm here now. Yeah.
You made it.
I did.
We love it.
When you got to help out, you got to help out.
Yes.
Big one for the team.
Yeah.
Okay, coming up, Paul Simon is coming out of retirement. No surprise when musicians do that, and he's going on tour again. Wicked star Cynthia Erivo will play Jesus in a music special. And later, Nike is in a slump and has recruited a reality star to help them out.
Okay.
All right. We'll see if that works.
Yeah.
Depends on who they're targeting, but yeah, I'm interested
shall
who
see.
the
You
reality
won't
star.
be surprised.
Okay. All right.
Thanks, Emily.
Yeah, no problem.
In business news, the Canadian dollar and overseas trading is down a couple of basis this morning to 70.44 cents U.S. Gold has dropped, it's up $14.60 an ounce, and crude oil is up 58 cents to $73.43 a barrel. In midday trading in Europe, markets are down in London and France, but up in Frankfurt.
Over in Asia, markets were down in Tokyo and Hong Kong and up just a bit in Shanghai. And in North American markets, Bay Street saw triple-digit gains, helped by strength in the energy sector as the prices for oil and natural gas climbed, while U.S. stock markets eked out gains. U.S. stock futures are trading near the flat line this morning as investors weigh U.S. President Trump's latest tariff threats.
Okay, let's get into that, shall we? Because he says new tariffs are in the work, and they'll affect vehicles, pharmaceuticals, and computer chips and be around 25%. Trump says he'll formally unveil them as early as April 2nd. That's the day after the previously stated deadline for an investigation into reciprocal tariffs. Some U.S. businesses appear to be struggling with Trump's rapid-fire trade changes. The National Association of Home Builders says its confidence index is the lowest it's been in 5 months. A number of other companies say the 10% tariff on Chinese imports is hindering their supply chains.
January home sales were up 2.9% compared to a year ago, but that fell off at the end of the month. Canadian Real Estate Association says the drop-off likely reflected uncertainty over the potential for a trade war with the U.S. Newly listed properties, meanwhile, jumped 11% from December. The association says that excluding some of the wild swings during the pandemic, January represented the largest monthly increase in new supply on record, going back to the late 1980s.
Canada's Competition Bureau is investigating the possible use of artificial intelligence to set rent rates. It's called algorithmic pricing, and real estate companies are being accused of using programs that track what is being charged for rent and leases on the market. In the United States, there's an antitrust lawsuit alleging companies are using this software to collude and then artificially inflate rent rates. Canadian officials say they can't release any information yet, but promise to take action if they find concerns under the law.
Ancaster-based Putman Investments has been given permission by the courts to acquire women's clothing chains Ricky's and Cleo. Putman is owned by Doug Putman, who also owns Toys R Us Canada, Sunrise Records, HMV, and Northern Reflections. The purchase price is about $12.8 million. That price includes all of the Ricky and Cleo's inventory, furnishings, intellectual properties, and trademarks. Most of the retail employees will be offered jobs by the new company.
Okay, that's great. Well, taking a break right now, Brian is going to be back with traffic and your 7-day forecast. He says there is good news. We're going to find out.
All right, time to update the road. 6:23 on this Wednesday morning. Things can change pretty quickly this time of the morning, but not a change here. QEW east of Lake and St. Catharines is very light volume. Top of the Burlington Skyway Bridge actually still moving fairly nicely. Bronte Road looks good. Lauren Park through Mississauga will dip into the 403 at the 407 split. No problems on the highway so far this morning. Just take it carefully. Could still be some slippery roads. Let's get to our temperature that we have at the moment, and I'm just going to stand a little bit closer to this heat here. Minus 12 is the temperature in Hamilton, and you factor in the winds. Minus 20 is what it feels like. Minus 10 Toronto, 11 Mississauga, minus 13 for Grimsby. Now, here's a little bit of good news. Our seasonal daytime high has just gone up a degree. Yay. Now if we could only get there. 0 is the seasonal daytime high now, -9 for the overnight low. Those are our sun times and records for today. And for today, -10 for the first bell, maybe some flurries, but a bit of sun. And then more flurries for after school. There's that -7 degree high for the day. So that's how it shapes up. We'll have a wind chill of -16 for the day with some flurries. -14 tonight. Wind chills, back around -19 to 20. Tomorrow, -7. But we could get a couple of centimeters of snow for the day tomorrow. Yeah, more. Great. -4 on Friday. -5 on Saturday. -2 Sunday. But there's a bit of good news. Couple of days of plus side temperatures. Monday and Tuesday, +2, chance of some mixing precipitation. That's a look at your forecast. Annette, Louie.
We will take it.
Yeah, I'm going to hold you to that too, Brian. And if Brian's forecast has you dreaming of a beach vacation, well, let's dream big.
To some of the best beaches in the world. TripAdvisor has released its annual list of the world's best beaches. Number 1 on the list is the Greek island of Crete. The beach there, known for its pink sand and crystal clear water. Banana Beach on the island of Phuket in Thailand comes in second. Aruba rounds out the top 3. Siesta Key in Florida came in 4th place. It is the only beach, by the way, that's listed in North America. This year, the list spans 6 continents and 50 countries. Are you a beach person on vacation?
I don't mind the beach. Yeah.
I can't hang out on the beach.
You don't
for
like the
7
sand,
days.
Oh,
no,
for
I
7
like the
days.
Sand,
okay.
but it's just I need something to do.
How did Port Dover not make the list?
It has a small beach.
But it's still...
It's very nice.
It's a very nice beach, but I thought it would make the list.
Yeah. Turkey Point, Long
Turkey Point, Long Point, Crystal Beach.
No, I've never been to that beach.
Oh, you got to be to Crystal Beach.
Okay.
Yeah, it's out there in Ridgeway. Brian's nodding along there. You can get some candy, and they're famous Crystal Beach waffles, too.
Oh.
Yeah, those are fancy.
Okay.
They're
Put that
like
on the
deep
list for
fried.
this summer, then.
All right, we'll do.
Okay, stay with us. We got lots more to come after the break.